Jan Pronk. Long time ago. Good to have you back, I have to say. Thank you. So Jan Pronk, this event is actually inspired by Keerpunt 72. I'll translate it in English. Turning Point 72, when three progressive Dutch parties joined forces in the Dutch elections with a joint program. It was an important moment in Dutch politics. And now I'm a political historian, we won't talk about history all the time, but what can we learn from that nowadays, in 2024, would you say?
That you have to stand together, because it was not only the PvdA, Social Democratic Party, but also two other parties, D66, and also the PPR, political party of the radicals, together. Stand together, hold each other's hands, have a common program. Don't say that you have exactly the same view, exactly the same position, definitely not, but you have to organize yourself also as a mass power, a near power, but anyway, a full-fledged also political answer to the right.
Yeah.
And secondly, we were not just a political movement. There was a lot going on in the 60s. Democratization, Vietnam, Club of Rome, can say a couple of other difficult challenges. What we tried was to challenge that new feeling, the new mind of the end of the 60s, into a political framework in order to keep everybody abroad and to offer a perspective in political terms.
Yeah. Today we are joining forces as well. How do you join forces successfully? Do you have a tip for us, maybe?
Listen to the people, but at the same time lead. If you only follow what you consider to be the people behind you, only be their spokesperson, then you get lost. You have to listen and to lead.
Wow. Now, were you already focused on Europe back then with Keerpunt 72?
Yes, there was a short paragraph in Turning Point 72 on Europe. I've reread it this morning and I thought, I don't agree with it anymore.
Oh, you changed your opinion.
Yes, in the course of the decades. What we wrote down in 72 was, we are in favor of Europe, European cooperation, only if it is progressive. Well, what we should say is we are in favor of a strong Europe in order to make Europe progressive. And that is nowadays more important than at that time. If you read the slogan, together for our Europe, somewhere I saw that. No, it's not together for our Europe, it's together for Europe of everybody. Because Europe belongs to everybody. Also asylum seekers, also migrants, also social classes which still are being exploited by capital, such as, for instance, the migrant laborers coming from some specific countries in Europe. It should be a Europe for everybody, and that is the task of Social Democrats.
My last question would be, what do you hope we will talk about today? What do you find important?
I hope we will talk about the future challenges, not only about short-term policies. Of course, you have to withstand the position of the non-democratic rightist. However, you can only do so if you have a story, a really good narrative. And that narrative ought to be related to future challenges, such as climate change. By the way, that had been dealt with very well by Frans Timmermans. It is a great pity that he is no longer in Brussels. But it's good to have him here, but anyway, he did a very good job. Yeah. Climate change, loss of biodiversity, yes? The strong security challenges coming from autocratic countries, and most of all, credibility. Europe is no longer credible in the eyes of the global south. No longer credible in the eyes of many young people who feel very strongly related to the global south. And that is one of the first tasks, in my view, for social democrats standing together for such a Europe.
May I? Thank you. Thank you.